You are now listening to the Inner Circle Podcast Network.
Never die. 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 Never die.
Fuck you. I'd like to thank Jon Andersen's Thrive Body Transformation Program. Look, if you're trying to lose weight, feel great, get in shape, you're trying to get your life right. Look, learn how to eat. Learn how to train, learn what to eat, how to cook it, how to prepare it. When there are so many different aspects in your life that you can do to change your weight, control your life, and just maintain a healthy life through Jon Andersen's Thrive. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be this super athletic or knowledgeable person of losing weight. You guess what? You're going to get taught step by step with Jon Andersen's Thrive Body Transformation Program. Thrive Body Transformation Program. Look, just reach out to him and trust me, it will change your life. That is Deepwater Motivation Thrive Body Transformation Program with Jon Andersen. The link is in the notes. Just mention the Angry Dad and he'll take care of you. Sundays, take back your lawn. Look, you want your lawn to be luscious. I'm talking about thick, green, the envy of the yard. Get yourself hooked the fuck up with Sundays. Take back your Sundays. Get your lawn fucking right. They use the internet. They use satellites. They use all that crazy shit to figure out what kind of lawn you have, what kind of grass you got, the weather, all that bullshit, and then send you a customized kit through Sundays. Get hooked the fuck up with Angry Dad at checkout. Use the link in the notes, and you know what? Get hooked the fuck up. Also, Official. I'm wearing an Official hat. Official is a hip-hop inspired street brand coming straight out of Tucson, Arizona, brought to you by the Homie Casual. And you get 25% off your first order at official.com. Use code AngryDad at checkout. That is 25% off your first order at official.com. Get hooked the fuck up. And here is my guest, Robie.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you doing, brother? Look, from one podcast producer to another, what the fuck's up?
Man, life's been crazy, man. We started this podcast literally kind of last year, 6-7 months ago. And it's been slowly progressing, but kind of through that process, we've met some of the most amazing people that I've ever brought into my life. And I've done a lot of stuff, man. Growing up, I'm one of those guys that's like, I'm never satisfied. I've always got to be moving forward, progressing and trying to just, do something bigger, better every single time. And through that process, I've probably met some of the coolest people in my life that have inspired me to kind of just do kind of what I'm doing now, which really isn't a lot, man. Like I'm nobody, like Joe's nobody. We're even in the industry, we're not really kind of like these big name people by any means. We happen to know a lot of big name people, but that's just by accident. That's just kind of through this process. But man, life's been going crazy really ever since kind of COVID. It's just kind of, we kind of hit the ground running and haven't stopped. It's just nonstop. My poor wife, like, I don't even know if she sees me anymore.
No, trust me. I know the same thing, being a podcaster and even during COVID, there's so many podcasts out there, so many people creating content, so many people throwing it out there. But the thing is high quality content counts. And sometimes you can tell when people slap shit together, but you can tell when people take the time to craft what they do. And that's what really draws people to you. You know what I'm saying? High quality audio, high quality video. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the time and effort for something you do that for most podcasters and even people listening out there who listen.
And our podcast has evolved even in the 8 months that we started it. Originally it was going to be kind of this mid-level. We just wanted to shine the light on a bunch of people in the gym, right? That's why it's called a Gym Life Podcast. It was just bringing awareness to people that, don't get the recognition that the big 1%ers get, right? Because there's a lot of amazing people out in this country and even outside this country that are doing things that'll blow your absolute mind, but nobody's ever heard of them, right? So that was kind of our concept behind it. But from there, it's evolved actually into Gymlife.media, a full-blown media company now where we focus on content, we focus on live streams, we focus on the podcast. We're bringing in other podcasters, almost like a podcast network, if you will. And it's just growing exponentially. And I think the key to that for us has been that from the very beginning, when Joe and I talked about this concept, I said, listen, content is key, and it doesn't take a lot of time or money to really create good content. Most of this stuff is available to everybody out there for relatively inexpensive. We have a small space. It looks great on camera, but I mean, it's probably 10 by 12, right? We painted it gray. We threw some pictures up, threw a TV up, a little soundproofing, which you can get off of Amazon. We threw some vinyl or some whatever these things are, canvas pictures, and we threw some soundproofing behind those, right? Just these little tips and tricks. And then we literally record with probably the cheapest DSLR camera possible. It's like the SL3 from Canon. You can get it on Amazon for like $300 because they're 6 years old. But it records in 4K, and it's all these tiny little things that like create something that people want to watch. And we're still learning it, dude. Like, we still fuck it up. I'm allowed to say fuck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no hold back on language on this fucking show.
Good, because I don't hold back at all. Joe and I joke all the time that we have a F-bomb counter on our podcast because it's who I am, man. It's not a show. It's part of my language. So I grew up in like the oil field and construction and stuff. So this is how we talk, you know?
Exactly.
But it's all little things that create this magic, right? I take pictures of our podcast room and post them up on our Instagram, you know, every once in a while, and go, you know, people don't want to see behind the magic because it ruins the magic. I say, I think this is the magic, right? There's nothing to this. Most of this stuff we bought on Amazon or wish.com, and, you know, and it creates this environment. And then it's just learning kind of, you know, sound and video. Like, I mess with my video settings and my sound settings. Media company we're not chasing a competitor. We're trying to be the head of the spear. We're trying to do things differently. We talked a little bit earlier about Zoom and different, you know, ways to broadcast. And because I hate Zoom, and honestly, I don't even like doing these. I'd rather have everybody in my studio, but I can't do that, right? Yeah. I can't afford to do that. So how do I create that environment as if everybody was in my studio and still get the same impact, you know? And that's kind of the things that we're always looking to do. So yeah, man, it's just been a learning process for sure, but we're having fun doing it.
Oh yeah, and just like I said, back to see this wall behind me. I'm literally sitting at my kitchen table on a Mac computer recording this podcast. That's right. How like simplified that I've got it honed down to. Like, when I first started doing my podcast, I was sitting in my car ranting and raving, and just in my car, you know what I'm saying? I literally had to use two phones, one that just recorded my video, the other one did the audio, so I can send them to two separate things. I just had like two iPhones. One was an old one, the other one was just the one. I'm just going to record it when I get home. I can upload it through the internet. And that's how like simple I've done it. But the thing is I was always very conscious of like making sure that it at least looked decent and sound decent. You know what I'm saying? But it as a podcaster, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but the evolution that you go through is just it's so fun to watch, because you go from video one to video now, and you're like, leaps and bounds,
right?
Leaps and bounds.
And most of it didn't cost anything. It was just learning something new. It was like, hey, if I put this cardboard background from Staples behind me, all of a sudden the video looks better, the lighting looks better, you know, things like that, for sure. My first podcast I did on Anchor.fm on my phone. I hit record. I was in a job site hanging drywall recording my podcast, you know.
You know, and that's how it starts. You know what I'm saying? It's just so funny. And then with your podcast, you know, highlighting the gym and highlighting the people, because you know what, every gym has like that one legend, that one person who's just like above and beyond, which is always so fucking crazy. Because you know, the gyms that I used to go to, I had a regular gym, like a 24-hour fitness used to be my gym, and 24-hour fitness out here is a 24-hour gym, and there's shifts. Every gym has a shift. So you get the morning crew, you get the afternoon crew, and then you get the evening crew, but then you have the middle of the night crew. And I used to always transition from either the morning crew or the middle of the night crew. I never did the afternoons. I never did the evenings. But the reason I always did that is because I was trying to minimize the amount of people in the gym so I can just concentrate on my workout. But you would see these monsters roll in, throw 405 on the squat rack as a warm-up, and just fucking knock it out like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and you watch guys throw 5 plates on the bench and just, you know, just like it ain't shit. Yeah. And, you know, that's something that always was like, I think I started working out consistently started working out I think I started around 2009. when I made it like a full-time job duty where I was like, no, I'm dedicated to this, because at that moment in time, I wanted to get as big as I could, as large as I could, and I wanted to hit a stage. And literally from 2008, 2009 to 2016, that's all I did. Like 3 hours a day, 2 hours of cardio, and then like just working out like a fucking monster. And I took the Dorian Yates approach where I was like, nope, heavy, fucking hard, shock the fucking muscles. And I grew myself pretty damn large. But the thing is you would still, like, I'd be the biggest guy in the gym, because I stand at 6'5", and I was 300 pounds at that time, just peeled. But these fucking monsters would walk in, and I'd just be like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck?
Yeah, man, there's always one, like you said, and it's funny because we're going to start a travel series on the podcast, and for Gymlife.media, we're going to travel we want to say around the country, but we'll probably stay in the Midwest at first, and we'll see how things go. But coming up in June, we're going to make a trip down to York and Rogue, and we're going to try to hop into West Side. We're going to end up down at Carbon Culture in Tennessee with Daniel Rajov. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a mad bench presser, right? So we're going to make these trips because every one of these gyms, especially like these small, even like you said, even 24-hour fitness, but especially like these small, no-name, non-franchise gyms, if you walk in and go, hey, who's the guy here? There's a legend in that gym, right? That he's probably 45 to 50 years old. You know, he reps 800. Nobody's ever seen it, but he does it, right? And like, he's never been on Instagram. And there's always that one or two guys out there. And the concept behind our podcast originally was to start with that. Now, we've also grown, and we've had some bigger name athletes on. We had Jon Andersen on. We had Rhea Lovelace from over in England. They're literally pound for pound the strongest woman in the world. But we still, like, we just did an episode with Sean McHugh, who he was a Super Bowl champion tight end. He's also a world-class power lifter that nobody knows that he power lifts, right? He's ranked in the top 20 in the world for raw with wraps, you know, and nobody knows that he even power lifts. So we like bringing those guys on and talking about those guys, because ultimately our goal, and I think this is everyone's goal eventually. Yes, we all start out wanting to get chicks or wanting to get huge or whatever it is, right? But at the end of it, we want to bring as many people into this culture as we can. And ultimately that's our goal, is to expose all of these regular people who are doing phenomenal things to everybody else, so they can go, hey man, like, I can do it too. Yeah, maybe powerlifting's not your thing, maybe strongman's not your thing, but we brought in another podcast onto Gymlife.media who focuses more on lifestyle, right? She's a mom, they run a business, she works out 20 minutes a day and stays in phenomenal shape. So she reaches out to those type of people, and that's really what it's all about. And plus, man, we just having a whole shit ton of fun doing it, dude. Like we talked about before, I just love meeting people, sharing stories, sharing ideas, helping everybody grow. Like, that's my passion. That's my purpose and my drive in life. I coached Little League baseball because I loved helping kids grow, right? I started a gym because I loved helping people transform their body and grow. And I've started multiple businesses, and I've helped people start businesses because I like to see people grow. So that's really what it is for me, is about really just helping people and all of us just raising our status, you know, to whatever it is that you want, you know?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like, that's one of those things is like, when you come to podcasting and you start doing a thing, all of a sudden you find that niche where it's like, you know what, I enjoy doing this. And just like I said, you love helping people. You love helping people grow. You know, with all the bullshit of life and everything that I've gone through just for myself. That's one of my main things I focus on this podcast, is me just putting out the knowledge and experience that I have to share with people. Because you know what? One person's mistakes can be another person's, like, oh, I seen that. You know what? I heard about it. Let me either not do that, or let me figure out what the problem is, because, you know, I kind of have the answer. Yeah. And that's one of those things that need to be highlighted and shown, you know. And one of the things that I love, like, working out is life. Working out, like, if I couldn't work out, if I couldn't train, I would just freaking go insane, because like with everything that with the people that I've come in contact with through this podcast, through going to the gyms, going to different gyms, because I live in the Bay Area, and I have a plethora of gyms around me where I can, like, I'm going to legs here, I'm going to do shoulders here, I'm going to go do back here, because every gym, no matter what, has a specific set of things that other gyms don't have. And it's always weird how it works out like that, because like, oh, this place has all the good leg equipment, this place has all the good chest back, shoulders, whatever you're trying to work out. Each gym seems to be specialized and travel to these different gyms, like whether it's an hour and a half, 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. I would go there because I knew I wanted that specific workout. But the techniques I would pick up from the people that trained at those gyms, because I would always be that guy like, hey, I seen you doing this. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Why? And then the people that are really about it will explain it to you. They'll literally, and I always hate to stop people in their workouts, but the thing is sometimes if I don't ask, I'll never fucking know.
Right.
And so I learned how to preload my muscles when I train my legs. I learned how to really engage the chest just by asking these questions, by seeing these people there. And, that's always one of those things about the gym life that I always loved is like true lifters, real lifters will be like, no, let me pass this knowledge on. So you learn this new technique to add to your arsenal and you're like, God damn it. And that's something I've always loved sharing and training with.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's funny that you say that because my gym, I also own a gym. It's the small training facility focused around strongman and powerlifting, but we also have a personal trainer that works a lot with just general fitness and health and fitness and stuff. But one whole side of my gym is like legs because I'm a squatter. I'm not a good bench presser. I'm an okay deadlifter, but squat is my thing. So one whole side is like I got my equipment that people literally like 3 people in the country have, and one of them is Brian Shaw, right? Like because I love legs. And then like the other side is like everything else. I got 1 back machine, 1 chest, like 2 bench presses, it's kind of funny if you come into my gym, but yeah, man, that's the truth though. When you talk about, I try to tell people this all the time, if you're trying to lose weight, this idea that you got to be in shape before you go to the gym is just asinine. That is stupid. Get to the gym, get walking, because the stuff you're going to pick up there is going to accelerate your progress and your learning, because true lifters, like you said, true gym people, true gym lifers, really like stop me in the middle of my set, dude. We love to talk about this shit. That's why we do a podcast. We fucking love to talk about it. So if you come and ask me like, why are you doing that? You might not get to your workout for a half an hour because I'm going to fucking tell you every reason why I lock out my tricep on my bicep curls, right? Like full fucking range of motion. We're going to go through the whole thing. And so I really encourage people to do that. And, just get to the gym. It's the same thing with podcasting, right? Just there's never a fucking perfect time to do anything in your life. If you're waiting to have a kid because you want to have more money, you're never going to have enough fucking money. I'll tell you that. I got 4 kids. You can never save them enough. It's impossible. Exactly. If you're waiting to have the right lifestyle to fit the gym in, you're never going to get to the fucking gym. And if you're waiting to have enough knowledge to start a podcast, you're never going to fucking have enough knowledge. Jump in and that stuff's going to start coming to you. I learned more starting my gym and starting my podcast in the year that I've been doing that than I did the 37 other years leading up to it. Hands down.
I mean, right now, and that's how it goes. There's no true time to start. It's just dive head the fuck in. Yeah. You know what? Like it's one thing I always say on my podcast is, look, if you got a fucking wild hair up your ass, get fucking going. If you wake up feeling motivated, get up and fucking going. Yeah. If you feel today is going to be a good day, guess the fuck what? It's a good day to start. Yep. And that's how people need to look at it. So that's one of those things about the gym life. Like when you wake up, you might feel like shit, but as soon as you get that cup of coffee and as soon as you start making that approach, it's like this wind up. All of a sudden you're getting anxious. You're getting fucking like all jacked and juiced because you're ready. You're like, oh, I know I'm about to do something fun. I know I'm about to do something great. And that feeling is the exact same feeling of like, I'm not sure. I was like, just fuck it. You get wind up and then you fucking take off and guess the fuck what? You feel great after.
For sure. I tell people this all that. So the mind is a big part of what I do in training clients and athletes, because prior military, the one thing that I learned being in the Army, like especially in basic training for the Army, was they don't teach you shit. All they do is teach you how to control your mental state, right? That's what the entire basic training is about. Yes, there's some physical attributes to it, but more so it's about learning that the mind is much more powerful than you fucking think it is. So I bring a lot of that into my training athletes, and it's you hit it right on the head. Fear and excitement are the exact same emotion. It's the exact same physical response in the body. The difference is how your brain interprets it, right? So if you were afraid of doing something, literally you can think about being excited about it and it's the same fucking thing. So you can just go and hammer it out. But I have a routine in the morning that kind of make sure my days are kind of set. Like I have a gym routine. So I'm switching my mind on that it's gym time, but there's days that, like you said, I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'm not doing it today. And I'll sit down on the chair. I'm not feeling it. But even then, as I'll continue to do my morning routine. And by the time I'm at the end of my morning routine, I'm like, it's fucking go time, baby. It's because I have that routine built in, and your body is a habit, and your brain is designed to protect your body. So you can actually trick your brain into doing things that you don't want to do, right? Because physiologically, our brain is designed for survival. And so like if anything feels off, or you feel tired, or you feel weak, your brain's going to literally shut down the response to the muscles. And it's the same thing with just getting up and going. Your brain will shut your body down, and you will not have the endorphins and things like that to get to the gym. So you can teach yourself, no, fuck that, we're going to go. And your brain will actually switch that shit back on, and you're ready to go. So just jump into stuff, man. Jump into life. Fucking, there's a lot of life out there to explore. Just fucking jump into it.
Exactly. No, it's like for those who can't, for the majority of my listeners, stuff like that, we all get up at almost the exact same time every day. It does not matter because, like we're all in tune. Like I got to get up, I got to get ready for work. And even on your day off, guess what you're going to fucking do? And so it's all about practicing what you're doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you said, you could trick your mind. And the thing is it takes practice to trick that mind. For sure. You know what I'm saying? It takes so much time and effort to be like, nope, I don't care. This is what I do. And because like I've definitely had those days where like my body's like, oh, we're definitely burnt the fuck out. Yeah. But because we're burnt the fuck out, take it easy. Just like, I got to get up and have my coffee. Well, I got to get up and have something to eat. I got to get up and take my vitamins. I got to get up and get my day going so I can at least be ready just in case. And then next thing you know, just like you said, you're driving halfway to the gym like, oh shit, I didn't realize that I was stuck to my routine because this is an everyday thing. How many of us have been on autopilot past our exits because we're automatically going somewhere,
100%. Yeah. You're used to driving that same route to your house, and then, but you're trying to go somewhere else. You end up passing it and end up at your house. You're like, fuck, I was trying to get to Walmart. Like, how did that happen? And that's your brain, man. And it's how many of us have gone to the gym and been like, oh man, I'm sore, I'm tired, I'm just gonna get a light workout in, and in the middle of our sets, we're fucking cranking it out, right? That's it, pumping it. Yeah, and it's because it's not our muscles. Yeah, we're tired, but our muscles have a gigantic capacity. It's our brain protecting our body. It's protecting our joints and our vital organs and our mental health and things like that. So you get into it, and all of a sudden you're like, I need more weight. But 30 minutes ago, you're like, I'm not going to the gym because I'm fucking sore. But now you're having the best workout of your fucking week, So it's just trying to get out of your own way, dude. Like we are our own worst enemies. People always say that, but I want people to really fucking understand that. Like, and I didn't until I went through the military. When I was in the military, like I remember just going through the motions, man. I was like, I can't do this. Sucks. I can't do this anymore. And I told a story not too long ago. Drill sergeant was having us do overhead claps, right? Yeah. And like, I don't know, 20 minutes into this thing, I couldn't lift my fucking arms, dude. Just no weight, just straight fucking overhead claps. And my drill sergeant comes up to me, nose to nose. They were still allowed to do that at the time. Now they got to stand like 10 feet away, but nose to nose. And he goes, you're telling me, Private, you can't hold up your own motherfucking arms? And I was like, yeah, so you're right. And I just fucking started overhead clapping again. And it wasn't because my muscles were tired. It wasn't because I was at muscle failure. Most motherfuckers that train in the gym cannot get to muscle failure. They get to brain failure. You can't. Muscle failure is very hard to get to. But it was just that mentality switch that, like I had to learn. And I wish people really explored that in themselves. And a lot of people talk about this. There's a lot of high-level athletes that talk about reaching that puking point. You don't know what an RPE 10 is until you've thrown up, right? I tell people all the time, I never hit an RPE 10 because I plan for an RPE 10 to screw me into the ground if it's a squat, right? That's an RPE 10. I've never hit that number. But you have a lot more than you think you do. Just fucking jump into these things and reach out to these people, man. Reach out to me, reach out to you. These people that have been doing it. We're going to give you our opinion, our advice, and then go do whatever the fuck you want. We don't know everything either. I'll tell you that right now. I'll be the first one to tell you, I fucking have a ton to learn. And if you live your life trying to learn lessons, you will never fail. I'm not trying to succeed. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to learn a lesson today. And if you live your life learning a lesson, you will never fail.
No, and that's the truth, And then talk about like muscle failure. Let's tell you a quick story. two things that I've always had, you know, when I was younger, my back always hurt me. And I'm being 6'5", my legs, I always felt needed to be huge to match my upper body. And it just always was what it was. And so I used to do a 300 rep set. And what we would do is we start off in the bar, move up to the 10, move up to the 25, and move up to the 35, move up to the 45. And then we basically get all the way to 315 and then walk it all the way back down.
Right. Yep.
All in one set. And we would also do it with a spotter where, you know, like we'll help you with the last couple of reps just to pump it out, you know. And it's always funny because I could fucking monster through this set, and it would literally, we'd be in the gym for maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, and that's be the only thing we did. We kind of warm up the joints, get the quads and the hams warmed up before we would start, you know, little leg extensions, you know, laying down leg curls. And then when we do this set, but my brother, one time we were going through the set and he literally just falls, like he racks it. And as soon as he racks it, falls to the floor. He's like, I can't get up. And like, I literally, like it was to the point where like, he couldn't really get up. So I had to pick him up, drag him, put him on the set, on the seat so he could sit down because he literally pushed it to fail. And
right.
I'm 6'5", but my brother, he's only like 5'5", I think 5'6", 5'5". You know, he's not really not as tall as I am, but I just thought it was hilarious because it's just like, he's just like, I can't do it. You know, and I'm like, you know, he was only halfway through and I'm yelling. And this is like maybe 3:30 in the morning. There's a couple of people in the gym and I'm screaming my ass off at him because he doesn't want to get up and he doesn't want to finish his set. And he's just like, but I can't move. And I'm like, girl. And I'm like, you can literally hear, you can literally hear my voice echoing in the gym because it's so empty.
Right.
And it was just so hilarious because I just remember like the look on his face, like he like you could see he wanted to cry, but he was like, I'm not gonna cry, I got this.
Leg days can make a lot of people cry. Yeah, and it's not that it's impossible to get to muscle failure, but if you think about the muscular skeletal makeup of our body, muscle failure would actually be essentially a giant cramp, right? Yeah. That's muscle failure because your muscle is still working, right? So actually getting to muscle failure, physically getting to real muscle failure is almost fucking impossible. Yeah. It's mostly mental now. Obviously, I don't ever suggest you get to full on fucking muscle failure. And there's times you get to what we call muscle failure in the gym, right? And that's usually with a certain load and things like that.
Time under tension.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I can't do it with a 3-second concentric anymore, or a 3-second eccentric anymore. Yeah. That's muscle failure for that set. And that's totally acceptable. But most people they look at it the wrong way. And I think we just look at life the wrong way, man. Like I live my life by one simple motto, and it comes from Van Wilder because I fucking love comedies. And it's don't take life too seriously. You're never going to make it out alive anyways. Like, if you want to do something, fucking go do it. You hate your job, go get another one, dude. This is not that hard. You're going to survive. People will help you. There's a community of people who have done exactly what you want to do. And the last thing I want to make sure that we get in here, man, is if someone else has done something and they were successful at it, that doesn't mean you can't do it too. That is a proof of concept, and that means you should absolutely fucking do it. It doesn't mean don't do it. Well, somebody else has already done it. Yeah, that means you can also succeed, dude. There's so many people. It's just like the podcast thing. What do we say? 4 million fucking gym podcasts out there. Yeah. And I started one last year, right? You can still succeed fucking doing it. So
yeah. Quick trivia on that Van Wilder.
Yeah.
That's Bert Kreischer's life story that he sold the rights to his life story.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. My wife told it to me yesterday. She's like, you know, Van Wilder, because he said it on a few of his podcasts, which I've never heard those ones them say it, but he's like, Van Wilder is my life rights. I sold my story and they made it into a movie. I was like, holy shit.
Awesome, dude. I love that. I love stupid comedy because I spend my days overanalyzing, right? I'll literally be writing code for websites and thinking about my business. Like I said, I own a gym. We own the media company. And so when I come home and watch something, I don't want to have to fucking think, dude. I want it to be the dumbest fucking comedy. Like my wife's like, I want to watch a documentary. I'm like, I want to watch Beavis and Butthead's Do America.
That's it. See the late 80s, early 90s action movies. That's my go-to when I get those times. I'm like, look, I don't need it to be real. I just
Bad
need
Boys
to
for
be
Life,
lost
little Bad
in
Boys.
the action. Little Steven Seagal, little Van Damme.
And I have a
I need to unwind here.
I have a Van Damme story, man. That guy's a dickhead.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It's not the first time I've heard that.
So he was filming Double Impact, and at the time I lived in Arizona.
I love that movie.
Yeah, so at the time I lived in Arizona in a small town called Dolan Springs. And the bus scene, I don't know if you remember it, but they have two buses that are like racing through the desert.
Yeah.
And they're like fighting each other. So that scene was filmed about a mile from my school on a dry lake bed out there. A lot of movies were actually, like Mars Attacks was filmed out there. It's a huge dry lake bed. So a lot of movies are filmed out there. And I skipped school that day and rode my bike out to the dry lake bed to meet Jean-Claude Van Damme, because I was a huge fan as a kid. Completely fucking ignored me. I was the only one out there. Completely fucking ignored me. Oh. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I still watched every movie he ever made.
Yeah, no. He's not a good person, but goddamn it, he can.
But he's a good actor.
An action movie.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah. That's my go-to. And even with this podcast, I actually do a few other podcasts.
Yeah, I knew that. I looked at some of them.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I do your dad's action movie podcast. And then I also do I Married a Bigfoot with My Wife.
Yep.
And then plus Legends of Iron. For those who don't know, Legends of Iron is Jon Andersen, Nick Best, and Akeem Williams coming together and just basically interviewing everybody. But then that's the producer. That's my producer side is doing that, because when I started doing I just do my regular podcast, and the Angry Dad podcast is the flagship. And I want to say it was July of last year. Jon Andersen actually reached out to me. He was like, hey, can I come on your show? I'm like, fuck yeah, you can, man. Come on, bro. Because he's from the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area. Yeah. And he's a local legend around here. I'm talking about, New Japan Wrestling, international strongman champion, IFBB bodybuilder. This dude's got the biggest traps in the game. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, I was like, I was blown away. He even reached out to me, you know what I'm saying? And so when I had him on, he's like, I really like your show. I like the message, because me and him talk the same message. If you listen to John, you're basically almost listening to exactly what I'm saying. And then he actually asked for a reoccurring spot. So we ended up doing like one Monday a month, and then it ended up being 2 Mondays a month. So me and John do every other week. We do Monday motivation podcast together. It's quick, simple, short, and it's just like one of those things is like, once he came on, like all of a sudden I started getting a little more steam, and next thing you know, like I'm talking about like almost 6 months in, he asked me to be the producer for a show, because he was just like, look, I'm doing this, because he kept mentioning the project to me, but he didn't have no one to run it. And then when he finally asked me to run it, I was like, fuck yeah, I'd do that. And then next thing you know, that just like we're talking about, that's how success happens. It comes naturally out of nowhere, because all you're doing is working towards what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. Look, I say all the time, luck is, when preparation meets opportunity, right? We're preparing ourselves, doing our podcast, so that when an opportunity like that presents itself, I have the ability to fucking jump on it, right? If I had never done a podcast and Jon Andersen asked me to produce his show, I have to fucking tell him no, right? But yeah, we actually had Jon Andersen on our show too. Kind of a similar thing. It was so funny, dude. This is who Jon Andersen is. So I posted a video of me like shoulder pressing, who the fuck knows, 135 weak ass pounds, right? In the words of Ronnie Coleman, 135 weak ass pounds. And Jon Andersen messaged me. He goes, hey, great fucking job, bro. And I was like, I called Joe and I go, this motherfucking legend just messaged me to tell me how good of my workout was. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I messaged him back, and we bullshitted for a while, and I asked him to come on the show, and he was like, yeah, for sure. And like I said, I followed him too. I knew who he was, but his traps, dude, his traps are the only traps on the planet that have a biceps peak. I don't know how the fuck he did that, but
hey, I've talked to him great lengths at how he did that. And you know what he told me? Standing military presses. Really? That's it. He's like, yes, I military pressed my traps to be that big. He was just like, for some odd reason, when I military press, they make him grow.
Yeah.
And he just
Those
kept doing
fuckers
it.
touch his ears. That's
If
fucking,
they do.
it's crazy.
They do. And like I said, he's just hit 50 years old.
Yeah.
Still looks like a fucking maniac. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we just talked about it on our podcast last episode. I think Olympia's bringing back the Masters class. I was like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Jon Andersen. I know he's going to do open again, he said, but
Yeah.
motherfucker, you need to jump in the Olympia 50 Masters, dude. Like,
Oh yeah,
why
no,
not?
trust me. There's all that talk right now of them bringing back the Masters, and then everyone's talking about Dexter coming back. I'm like, look, Dexter retired. He ain't gonna do the Masters. He's already downsized. But the thing is like Jon usually, he does the Legacy Legend, and he does not Legacy Legend. He does the Masters though, and he's like he'd love to, because I remember right before COVID hit. I think he was saying that he was going to do it, but then COVID had shut everything down. So he just shut his peak down because he was going to do the Tahoe show for Masters. And he's just like, look, I can't, there's no point for me to stay on diet and train if there's going to be no show.
Right.
So I'd definitely like to see him on the fucking stage again.
Bro, for sure. Like that, he's in great shape. His fucking deep water training system is legit. It's 100% the real fucking deal. So for sure. He looks like he could compete right now. Like he could literally just
Now he's always
fucking water cup shape for a week and get on stage, bro.
Exactly. It's fucking insane how fucking conditioned he is still in.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I've always been a huge body. Like it's funny. Like I originally started training for strongman when I was younger.
Okay.
I've always been ridiculously fucking strong. At the age of 10, I was 5'11". All right. Huge. I was a full-grown fucking adult as a kid. All right. For no goddamn reason. Always been ridiculously strong, huge fucking, like I could, like before I got hurt, I used to be able to pop apples in my hand and fucking just, you ever see those, the hand grips that they go up to about 300 pounds. I can do it 250, just like, like it was nothing. And just like I was doing strongman, and then I ended up running into Jay Cutler at like a signing, and I knew he came to San Francisco. He was like, he was doing his tour. He was still working with BPI at that time, and he was signing autographs, doing all these things. And so I was like, fuck, I want to go meet Jay Cutler. So I went down to go meet Mr. 4-time Olympia. And he seen me and he was like, God damn, bro. Like, he was just like, look at you. I'm like, and I wasn't like in shape. I was just a gigantic, wide fucking kid.
Right.
And he literally took a notepad out. Or it wasn't even a notepad. It was like a booklet he was signing and giving out. He's like, look, he wrote down all this information. He's like, train like this, and gave me a big old signed autograph poster, all this stuff. He's like, look, don't even worry about here. And then I was like, what? And so that's what started off my bodybuilding training, is like just this booklet that he gave me.
That's
that
crazy.
He signed, wrote down a whole bunch of notes and information.
Cutler gives you a workout. You're like, okay.
Yeah, okay. And that changed me into like, like just like doing bodybuilding training, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that was like my motivation and my inspiration to like literally start etching out my body.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then that actually, because of that, turned me into, I basically had to read information on dieting because I didn't know how to do it. Because like before with strongman, I'm just eating everything.
As many calories as fucking
possible.
possible.
Exactly. You're just eating calories, and the next thing you know, I'm like, no, I need to lose weight. And so, to figuring out how to eating and gaining weight's the easy part. It's the losing weight that's the hard part. So, all I ever did was read articles, buy magazines, like figure shit out, and then like it was even more funny. It's like the majority of my diet was, I want to say, like I was eating like a carnivore style before carnivore was like a real mainstay thing, because like I was at that moment in time at my biggest, I was eating almost 7 pounds of meat a day.
Right.
Yeah. Just to fucking maintain a 300-pound size with muscle.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is I kind of like got into fitness because I got super overweight and almost died. But I was always a really good squatter. Like when I was in high school, I weighed 132 pounds. My wrists were like this big around, dude. I was tiny, and I'm still not a big dude by any means. I'm 205, 210. But I was a tiny dude. At my peak, I was 132 pounds. I played outside linebacker because I love to hit people so much that my coach was like, "You're playing linebacker, dude." And I would light fucking dudes up at 132 pounds. But when I was going to play football, I was 100% convinced I was going to play football, right? And I used to be a huge Niners fan growing up until like I talked about a little bit ago. I grew up in Arizona. So once Arizona got the Diamondbacks in like 98, I switched all my teams to Arizona. But until then, my teams were kind of sporadic. Yeah. Huge Niners fan, huge Jerry Rice fan. Well, I ended up meeting Jerry Rice one time. I was 11 or 12. And I asked him, I said, "Hey man, like, how do you do this? This is my dream. This is my goal. What should I do?" And he told me a bunch of stuff. But the one thing I'd never forgot is he said, "Focus on your legs. They're the first thing to go." So I started fucking, like, when everybody else got in the gym and started bench pressing because they wanted to get big, I started fucking squatting. So at 132 pounds in high school, I had the high school squat record in my school. It was like 405 at fucking 14 years old, dude. It was just nasty. And like I said, I weighed 130 pounds. It was just ridiculous. So I started squatting. So I've always had, legs have always been my foundation. And so when I started getting into strength sports, which was literally just like little over a year ago, I immediately gravitated towards powerlifting because I was like, I can squat, I can deadlift. I just fix this bench a little bit. We'll be competitive, still working on fixing the bench a little bit. But so I competed all last year in powerlifting. I'm like ranked like right in the middle in openpowerlifting.com. I'm like literally the world's most average man on Instagram is because I'm like ranked 5,000 out of like 10,000, right? Like it's like the middle of the fucking road. And then I have obviously a lot of friends and family and guests and stuff in the strongman realm. So this year I'm competing all strongman. And then next year I'm going to switch and I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. So I'm going to have done I'm going to do basically what Jon Andersen did, except for not be a fucking professional at it. Cause that's a fucking crazy, like who does that? Who is that? Any one of us would be happy to be a professional in any of those sports. That motherfucker went out and was a professional in all of them.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? One is in some capacity of that professional level. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, man. Like you got paid to do this your whole fucking life. God damn you, Jon Andersen.
That's it. That is it. Yeah. Like, when what's funny is like, I can't even remember the article I read, but when I first started really training legs, the first thing that I read was for huge legs, you got to have huge hamstrings. So I used to concentrate so hard on making my hamstrings so fucking massive and shredded, but and it come to find out like my body was naturally attuned to heavy hamstring motions. So anything hamstring was like just so easy for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even when I would leg press and do all these different things with just the hamstring focus in on, most people like, oh yeah, I get it. No, like when leg press is good, but if you can learn how to load your hamstrings on it, it'll fucking put that mass on there. Same thing with hex squats. I got I can't even remember where the video is posted, but I have a hex squat of 900 pounds. Jeez. And I did it for fucking 10. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. Like even the guy like I had two people spotted me on the sides. They're like, just in case, just don't let it crush me.
Yeah. That's the same thing with arms, right? I tell people all the time, you want big arms, get big triceps, right? That's where all your arm size come from is your triceps. Your biceps just add that little hump that everybody sees. Exactly. Your arm size comes from your triceps, but
all triceps.
Yeah. So it's kind of a similar thing. I always focused a lot on my calves because I wanted to run, jump. I'm 5'9". I tell people I'm 5'10", but I'm 5'9", and even at 38, I can still grab the rim of a basketball hoop, right?
Nice.
I used to be able to dunk in high school, and it's because I spent a lot of time on my calves. And one of the things that I tell people all the time, I can't grow my calves. I can't grow my calves. Yes, genetics plays a small part, but you can absolutely grow your calves. And one of the biggest tips that I give to people when talking about exercising their calves is tire out your hamstrings first. Because a lot of people assist their calf exercises with their hamstrings and their glutes. Unless you're doing seated, like you cannot isolate your calves out, and you cannot get your hamstrings and your glutes out of the equation. So go just wreck your fucking hamstrings and glutes and then do your calf exercises. And now you're working that fucking muscle, So I have probably some of the biggest calves I probably rival most open class bodybuilders in the calf size department at 210 pounds.
Oh yeah, that's how it goes. I always, and people used to always give me shit because I would do calves after leg day, and they're like, "Why are you gonna mess your leg up all the way?" I'm like, "No, it's because just like you said, the pump is there. I just gotta get just a couple of sets in to finish it out."
Yeah, I gotta get them worked in, man. It's funny because when I squat, most people are like, "Are you quad dominant or hamstring dominant?" I'm fucking calf dominant, dude. I can feel my calves more in my squat than I can any other of my leg muscles. I derive from the bottom up, dude. My calves do a whole lot more work than I think they probably should, but I can feel my calves in everything that I do, and it's just one of those things. And it's like mind muscle connection, right? I'm always thinking about my calves.
100% is, because when you can feel that mind in that muscle, that's what's gonna light up and fire the most. You know, like just like being hamstring. When I squat or even when I deadlift, it's 100% my hamstrings all in. Like I literally have, if I want to work on my quads, I literally have to put the weight on not the heel, but the ball of my foot. Otherwise, I will not feel it in my quads. I like to get the pump in my quads just from squatting. I'm literally doing partial reps, and not part. I'm talking about from the bottom up. I can literally only go up halfway, because as soon as I go up, my quads and my glutes engage, and I can't. And then my quads are gone. There's no point. You know what I'm saying? So I literally have to practice all these different techniques to get my quads to engage before I get my hamstrings take over, because they just constantly do that when we squat. And like even too, like one of the things that I ended up doing is I'd always just squat flat-footed, but what ended up happening is I got basically I just bought the Reebok's lifting shoes, just the flat wedges. And because of that, like I now I can get the quad fire more. That little bit of elevation takes the weight off my hamstrings and puts it right into my quad. So it helps me so fucking much.
Yeah, I'm very quad dominant. So like I have the exact opposite. I have a power runner in my gym. I don't know if you ever worked out on a power runner, but I literally have a power runner, hammer strength, lying hamstring curl, a Cybex individual kneeling hamstring curl. Yes. I have so much hamstring stuff because I'm super quad dominant that like I've got to really focus, like isolate my hamstrings if I want any hamstring growth. Because I've spent so long just in my quads and in my calves running and all that stuff. So I got to get my hamstrings up, but I have a bunch of random equipment. That's why I said you come down to my gym, one whole side is fucking, I have 3 squat racks. I have a fucking Smith machine, 3 different type of hamstring curls, a leg press, 2 different types of fucking calf raises. And then you go to the other side, I got a hammer strength chest press and 2 bench presses and a couple dumbbells. Good luck.
You know what I'm saying? I prefer a buffalo bar when I squat. It helps me so much in just the flexion that I'm doing. Cause when I roll a standard Olympic bar, it almost throws me off balance. But once I put that buffalo bar and it rests right on my fucking my rear delts, and it fucking sits perfectly on my fucking trap, and it puts me into perfect position because it doesn't hinge and doesn't change my momentum.
Yeah. The other good thing that it's for is because of that curve, you can engage your lats better than you can. You can really, you get unless you're talon gripping, you can't get your elbows in the same position as you can a Duffalo bar. Exactly. So that Duffalo bar is really good for that kind of upper back tension and stuff.
That's exactly it too. It's like, because my shoulders are so wide and sit so high that it's 2 things are going to happen. I either got to touch the plates when I'm squatting, or like I got to literally, I'll put hand straps and pull it in tight just to hold it. Otherwise,
most of us at middle age, we have shoulder problems that we don't even know about. Our shoulder flexion and rotation is terrible once we get up to like our 30s, unless we consistently worked on that body mechanics and stuff. So most of us, like I'm still nowhere near where I should be. I see fucking 20-year-old kids that are like, really in here. Man, I wish I could get that tight.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things too, is like for a lot of first-time lifters and first-time people that are going to be listening to this, you got to literally learn how to lock your body in for a squat, because it's just not you loosely holding a bar. Right. Once you grip it, you tuck it in, you lock your lats, you pump your chest, and then you brace your stomach. People don't understand what bracing is when it comes to
Dude,
lifting, because that's how you blow your back out.
Bro, there's power lifters that have been doing this for years that still don't understand what bracing is. They think it is just putting air into your stomach, and that's not it.
It's not.
I tell people all the time on that. It's funny because I'm about to do a instructional video for Gymlife.media, and there's a lot of them out there, dude. Go look on YouTube. There's a lot of squat videos, but I think there's some keys that we've gotten to the point now where there's so much information that we kind of forgot the basics, and everything out there now is advanced information, right?
Exactly.
If you go look up how to squat, a lot of it is advanced techniques and not necessarily where we should, the pocket where we should be focusing all of our
like
energy all the
placement,
time.
You know what I'm saying? Knee placement.
That upper back tension is one of those things that I spot for the USAPL, and I can see it constantly. I see the bar rolling up and down people's back, and I see it constantly. It's terrible, right? That, and like you said, bracing. Most people think, okay, if I push my stomach out, I'm bracing, and they don't realize it's a 360-degree thing, right? You need to be pushing your sides out. Big breath in, push your sides out, which creates that pressure in the lower spine, which supports the spine. And then the other thing that people miss is what you said too, is the chest. Most people only now breathe into their belt because that's how they were told to brace. You need to get air into your lungs. It keeps your rib cage up. That's how you keep your torso. Your torso is not upright on the squat, so I don't want to say that's how you keep your torso upright, but that's how you keep your upper back, your cervical spine. I don't know all the from curling over, right? Yeah. So that's how you keep yourself from folding over in a squat. Is your chest is your rib cage out, right? You're still tilted. This is your back angle, but your rib cage still needs to be out. So to do that, you have to breathe into your lungs. People all breathe into their stomach now because Westside and Louis Simmons said, put air in your fucking stomach, big stomach, big stomach. But now they don't put air in their fucking lungs. And they forget this part, and people do this in the squat now.
That's that curl over, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the things like, I had a small group of my friends that I trained, and they're all fucking monsters now. But the thing is like one thing I would always point out to them, like, look, right here, chest up. And they'd be like, what do you mean chest up? I'm like, when you brace, you literally brace your chest, like you flex your chest, you fucking lock in your lats, and then you're bringing it up. So when you do that, it automatically puts you in this neutral position that puts you in this position for perfect, like lifting technique for everything. So it's always square foot, toes forward, slightly bent. And once you, like I said, breathe into your lungs, chest pulls up, and when it pulls up, it fucking locks you into a position. So no matter what you're doing or exercising, you're literally in the perfect position to engage every muscle. Right. And I cannot share. Same thing when you sit down, same thing when you stand up. I always point it out, because that little breathe into your lungs, pull that chest up, and it literally pulls your shoulders back into the right position for everything.
Yeah, and I started changing the cue on that, because I started changing the cue, the chest, because people used to say chest up, and that's how I was taught in high school, right? And what happened is our back angle started getting more vertical. We started losing depth, and so I started telling people rib cage out, because it's the same thing, but now I'm not changing my back angle. Now I have that lower lumbar curvature that we're supposed to have, that neutral lower lumbar curvature. And the easiest way to do this, guys, if you want to know, I'll give you the technique right now. You get strapped in, right? You get your lats locked in. You get your fucking lats cranked down, everything tight. When we say stay tight, if you're underneath the bar on a squat, it is not a comfortable position. It shouldn't be painful, but you ain't fucking comfortable. I'll tell you that, right? And you breathe in. I like to breathe into my stomach first and get my brace. So I'll breathe in, right? I'll be like, get my brace, push out 360 degrees. And then my last breath is through my nose into my lungs. So I'll go, and now my chest is up, my rib cage is out, right? And then I'll squat. I'll keep that all the way down, and I do not exhale until I'm fucking finishing that motherfucker. And that's it. Because of that, when I'm doing a lot of reps, sometimes I get dizzy around rep 4, 5, or 6.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Is like that's how you get that. That's how you teach yourself these techniques to be able to engage it every time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I see it so often when I would go to the gym, and like I said, and the one thing too is like with younger people, young kids, you notice no one ever wants to take advice, but also too, like, most people don't know who we are when we go to a regular gym or a regular, they're like, who the fuck are you? Who are you to tell me anything? I was like, I'm just a person of experience telling you not to hurt yourself. Yeah. But, a lot of times they're like, no, you can't tell me anything. I'm like, whatever. Like,
yeah, well, I was
hey,
watching, I watched Ronnie Coleman, and he told me this is how I squat. Motherfucker, Ronnie Coleman understands these basics,
Yeah.
and then he added these advanced techniques, and that's what I try to tell people. Like, what's out there now, because we have so much information, what's out there now should be considered advanced lifting techniques.
Yep.
And if you aren't mastering these beginner things, these intermediate things, those things are just going to get you hurt. I just had a kid yesterday. He showed me a squat video. He's not squatting a lot. He's in college.
Yeah.
He squatted, and I said, "Hey, man, you're shifting all your weight to your right hip in the bottom, right?" I said, "I don't know if you noticed that or not." He goes, "Yeah, my left foot placement is different, and I can't fix that." And I'm like, no, we can fucking fix that. And he's like, "Well, I don't think it's hurting me that much." And I go, "At 225, it's not.
Yeah.
But you get up to 500 pounds and you shift all your weight to your right
it's gonna
hip,
blow your
bro,
fucking
you're
knee
gonna
out.
blow shit out." Like, no, it's not hurting you right now at 135 pounds, but you need to fix it now. Quit worrying about all the other shit, the spread the floor technique and all these other things, and fix this shit. And that's going to make your shit go up. And then when you get to a plateau, then we'll start talking about these fucking these things that get these big boys up to where they're at, you know?
Exactly. Now, you more of a front squatter, or you just like the back squat?
I'm a back squatter, man. I started front squatting for strongman. It's quintessential for strongman training with, sandbag loading and log pressing, and front squatting is just necessary. So I started front squatting a lot more, Zerker squats, stuff like that. But I'm a back squatter. My front squat, my Zerker squat is pretty fucking embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it.
The front squat is one of those things that, like, it's even on a leg day, it's like, oh, I really don't want to do that, but it's like I have to at least do a few.
Yeah, I'm about to go. Actually, right after this, I'm about to probably go hit some. I got a leg day today, so I'm going to hit probably some Zerker squats and things like that.
There you go.
I am not good at them.
Yeah, it's not too often I run into somebody. Like, I've only seen one person, and just like I said, this is going to circle back around to gym legends. I seen this one guy walk in, throw 405, and front squat, and I'm like,
yeah,
like. And he did it like it was nothing.
It's funny, you watch him loading plates and you're kind of in the background going, this motherfucker's about to die.
Yeah, exactly. And he grabs it and he's just boo, 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 boo. Like if it's 135. And I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So, some legends are created like that.
Yeah. I tend to try to find my weakest point, and then I try to exploit those as much as I can. So my front squat's pretty bad. I have the ability to move weight. And that's why I'm actually trying strongman out this year, because in powerlifting, I'm kind of average. But when we're in the gym on Saturdays, we do some strongman Saturdays and we do all these other events. And I have the ability to just move weight. And powerlifting is so technique focused.
Yeah.
You have to be kind of in the pocket just because of the commands and the pauses and all those things. Whereas strongman's a lot more kind of any means necessary. There's a lot of technique. There's a lot of fucking technique. But at the end of the day, get that fucking weight over your head, right? That's the goal.
At the end of the day, it's brute strength.
It's brute strength, right? And I have that brute strength for sure in some areas. So I tend to find the areas that I'm lacking in, like my triceps. If I'm lacking in locking out on the log, it's a tricep thing or things like that. So it goes back to that live my life as lessons, right? I'm looking for lessons throughout the day. If I fail a lift, I record them, I post them on Instagram, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with fame. I do it because I want to see where I failed so I can beat the living fuck out of that and never fail at that point again.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to hit an hour, brother.
Bro,
Thank you for coming on. It fucking flew the fuck by.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, for sure. So on Instagram, you can find me personally at World's Most Average Man. You can find Gymlife.media on Instagram, as well as the Gymlife podcast on Instagram. We just launched a website, Gymlife.media. That's where we're going to house everything kind of all in one place, because like you, we have multiple podcasts coming on. We've got content creators coming in. We're going to start writing news articles. We've got live streams coming in, and we're going to try to house all that in one spot. It's going to end up all on YouTube. All the video stuff will, for sure, but that's going to get messy pretty quick. So our website will kind of have it much more organized than that. And then, so you Gym Life podcast on Instagram, Gymlife.media on Instagram, and then World's Most Average Man on Instagram if you want to follow for some stupid shit, because I do stupid shit.
And I will put all your links in the notes for those who want to check it out and follow and all that stuff.
Yeah, I got to go hit the gym, and then I plan to take the day off, but it's starting to look like the day is going to get filled again. That's how my life goes, man.
You want to watch my shit? IGTV, YouTube. You want to listen to it? Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. This motherfucker's everywhere. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. I'm also part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network, a group of powerful podcasters out there sharing their shit. InnerCirclePN.com will take you to every one of our websites, every one of our shows, every one of our platforms. We have shows as Creatures of the Night, The Hood Diner, Untrained Eye, The Plunge, Failing Hollywood, Simmons and More podcast. Shit happens when you party naked on Patreon/Team Elmy because it's too hot for the fucking internet. And we'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Never die. Always living. Always living. Always living. Always living.